We are no other than a moving row of magic shadow shapes that come and go round with the sun-illuminated lantern held in midnight by the master of the show. We have a garbage doctor here. Let us consult him fast. He is an expert in the art of divination. He rose from nothing to a aspects in the past. Now he is hitman of the global revelation. Grand age is bleaching like an ancient bone, still slouching though to glorious restoration. Some faces look as blithe as weathered stone, but almost all still gleam with expectation. The charismatic monster had another charming vision, and overwhelming too. Half of the people swooned. "Abolish any system," cried he. "Fake pell-mell, pernition." And oh, what glorious revolution loomed. Save energy for bullets. New discussion. The shooting star resumes its former flight. Its second coming follows innate fashion. Forefathers must resume their pristine fight. Oh, happy cash cow, glorious emblem of the age. Let's pray to it for everlasting youth. We'll twist and shout around it on the festive stage. No wisdom ever will survive its golden truth. How fruitful is the gun in desert zones, where man's exertion makes the scorpions sting. A brand new faith could there be spread by sacred drones. The message is, we have a powder king. The balcony was full of joyous faces. The killing fields below they watered with champagne. A greeting to all war-producing graces. Their counter-strikes will surely ease the pain. The public tweet of soothing operation has left us fearful for some musty gift in store. Perhaps some sort of labor inspiration that flattens our slum down to the battered floor. The grinning knight turned back his leather face to something that he calls public opinion. The jocund proudly drowned his souvenir in mirth and grace, still overjoyed by his debilitating sleek dominion. The dinosaurs of DreamWorks' resurrection, their mausoleum of the future growing fast. With nuncle busybodies, stone age of inception, Their rift is widening into the past. He turned them out. Did they deserve no better? How come that Eden has become so blooming hot? We'll keep them out with necks of splash and splatter. Still better, give it back to Father Hottentot. Blade Runner sent a weird congratulation. We better leave this pampered space at once. The off-world is in state of degradation. Small baggage recommended for the nonce. A new dictatorship has popped up overnight. A dictatress this time, with haughty tits. She loves her people, says she, holds them extra tight. They are so thankful they will soon renounce their wits. Cloaca maxima of global digitalization. The data drainage keeps the human mind afloat. The fallout of its hidden infiltration will gush it down the musty cyber throat. The garden goblins introduced compulsory military service. A gallant hero rose up to their top. That made the neighboring goblins mighty nervous. They struck at first. Some hero proved a flop. The righteous constitution of the universal slum, its subterranean, shady ballad hierarchy, has left the common molehill kind of numb, in comfortable doze of paupermocracy. From age to age, man spins his warlike tether. The parties haste to join the profitable sphere. By tickling Mars's nostrils with a feather, he sneezed out further loads of killing gear. The suicide strategy of the industrial leaders helps them evade the strain of market competition, dispatching the baboon, molesting feeder, utopia in reverse, enchanting vision. Big business, Cold War, and other mystical organizations had temporarily been dumped in some portentous cellar room. Their resurrection is a splendid combination of profitable bang and boom-day-doom. Now in the uproar of all honest vindication, accompany good Winnetou us to the glorious new front. If peace pipes are a means of fornication, we were too gullible to put it blunt. A plastic rainstorm gushed down on our city. Some water cannon caused a false alarm. Now shock and awe. Could plastic look so pretty? In streets, on roofs, how gleams the plastic charm. Now wading through the realms of toxic waste, a much ingenious source of humankind, we will come out invincible and chaste, while fat man guards the eclipse of our mind. Some Herdsmen drained the waterfalls of Ximburudu. Another prodigy of nature gladly lost. He will be punished with the utmost bloody voodoo, if drilling won't return the billing cost. Now that the atmosphere is down to nothing, with the exhaust of myriads of cars, it might be time to put an end to fossil fussing. But presently important most, boo-boo on Mars. The sprinkler pool dried out since last September. Our golf club couldn't stand the dreadful view. We drank and bottled till December. We filled some pools again, but far too few. I threw away 10 kilograms of food last Monday since I could not eat it up. Sometimes I throw it all away since I am in the mood. Tomorrow morning I will throw away my breakfast, buttercup and sup. All the shadows of the rainman have departed. Between the cracks you can behold Earth's naked hide. Starvation of the livestock long since started. Now slumlords teach the herdsmen goofy pride. The sexton beetles of the operational kind can eat 3 elephants from day to day. The landscape that their feeding leaves behind has turned to wasteland where the nomads stray. All has been said and nothing to the flood. Some herdsmen are still roaming head above the waters. The honorable ghosts are preaching to the mud that lakes and rivers kindly mind their borders. Morality of war depends on distance. When far away, the watchword, never mind. When it draws nearer, we must preach resistance. Morale of peace is then much easier to find. The fear of death in masses seems to be subsiding, although some faithful friends still have the bomb. The antique world of blissful law-abiding is resurrected from the wombs of Avalon. The butcher boy has raised his index finger. The wisdom of a slaughterhouse he will declare. His throat is swelling like the show band of a winger. His teeth display his mercy glare of care. The one-eyed guard keeps watch in front of nothing. His eye is moonful fixed on something way beyond. His visage is encroached by strains of trussing. His fist is clutching something like a bond. The silence of the lambs means they are dead. If otherwise you might have heard them bleating. How strange that things turned out so bloating bad. Perhaps some enigmatic monster cheating. The fairy tale of peacetime has expired. The kill count now relieves the western front. Fat Bertha is the cowgirl most desired. The honored dead play the statistic stunt. The gangster army missing a convicted hero. He had mutated from the gaudy prison slum to high-tech in a tank. No, Trenchfoot Zero. But then he could not tell a hammer from a gun. Of all the retinue that creeps through the remembrance in the night, the moon of love is one of the most eerie. A fat consumption rake has gripped it tight and trammels it with rump steaks, glum and smeary. The rain went black when they had filled the glutton of juggernaut with radiating happy end material. A fairy queen flew by and kissed the button. What still remains looks very much imperial. The status symbols of all sardines in their box are fundamental when the winner is at hand. They help to mitigate the irksome ranking shocks when struggling starts among the glorious marching band. His shoeshine looked exactly like our late dictator. Always around him, studied every habit. Last night he killed him with a mancapator. We wonder still, is he the same old rabbit? The rash demand of costly education will guide our children to their well-to-do increase. They will evade the general disemancipation before the light fades out for everlasting peace. In wartime, when staunch killing was my duty, I had my fill of boom boom to the brim. I couldn't stop in peacetime, killed for booty. Can I not now be honored with a hymn? Noon train on time. The pretty little shootout started. The Golden West rehearsed its origin. The virginhood of Hetty's dream was thwarted. The commensal was buried in the bin. If music drowns the time in tears of yearning, we will arise and find those magic strings again. We'll look about, take heed, the load of learning will see us young to smile away King Doom's attention span. Are the remaining craftsmen still on board, who wrote the music for all now or never? Or will their clamorous successors and their sour accord continue caterwauling with their din forever? You will start howling when the music stops. That keeps the universe from breaking down. They say it happens in the year of fops, when remote charming meets the boomday clown. Time steals away like dream in heavy sleep. The hourglass shows hiccup in the making. The sea of dope has never been so deep, and every sinew in the back is aching. Are you still there, mysterious stranger on the shore? I cannot see you now, but I still hear the groundswell rolling. I will be standing there and stare all time and more until some bigger wave will send me howling. The private puff of helpless preservation left me with something like a nerdy self. A kind of phantom drenched in awkward transpiration, observed by Popeye from a bureaucratic shelf. Some 50 years now, and a gnawing consternation. If only I could find what I retrieved. What's gone looks like a vast procrastination of something that has never been achieved. That crusty rage that one may have in store is not a blunder. It could like you to a lawful kite. It might have kicked the crafty from the floor, but then it chokes you when it starts to bite. Look smart, or else you'll never have a standing that leaves you honorable in the social loom. Put make-up on, frequent the barbers, keep on spending on outfit, or your flagship is for doom. The always funny feeling when I hear my name. It feels as though some stranger is addressed. I wasn't there. Some cousin, ghost of shame. And when he comes too close, I feel distressed. Why don't we run around and swing the hammer to smash all cars that stink the universe. One day we'll be a hero called the Slammer. And never mind how hard it's on the purse. I wonder what went wrong with human faces. I loathe my mouth. It takes a ghastly toll. You stuff and stuff, strip bare all faithful places. And underneath, oh bucket, horrid hole. Wrap all the world around you like a cloak. Perhaps it leaves you with a waif of consolation. But when the cloak dissolves in clouds of smoke, it leaves you naked in your extirpation. When in some previous life I was a millipede, I roamed the underworld with unrestricted metal, but then I got entangled in a bureaucratic weed and lost 600 legs in regulation battle. Reading the monumental book in setting sun, I never grasped the objects of the story. The pages weighing each 10 kilogram, but if I had succeeded, hope and glory. Now that the proof of God's existence is extant, get rid of all those pestered concepts of modernity. We will return to Sunday service, neatly kept, to celebrate the wasteland of eternity. My lifestyle magazine is loaded to the brim with high gloss, hot, creative party tools. They clad the whirlpool models there in leopard skin and drowned them with champagne and cellar pools. Another record spinster went from A to B. His racy wonder turned him pretzel brown. He crossed 5 oceans single-handedly. Reward him with a golden Gaga crown. The human face, a monumental recollection of what it could have been and what is not. Sometimes a miracle of wholesome imperfection, but when in dotage, what an awesome flower pot. My head is empty, but I still have hair. It leaves me hopeful. Hope will die at last. But now, with lots of iron in the air, my hair is dwindling and it's going fast. I lately sold my brain to Pied the Piper. The old establishment conspires with the rats. The hare is on. My neighbor is a sniper. The babble net explodes with weirdo chats. The little waste that I produced was mainly plastic. My trail of life of trivial, relevant respect. But oh, my Barbie, what a lifespan, how fantastic. 500 years, her plastic charm remains intact. Now all my life I looked for decent housing. I never found it, so I went back to the street. From where I squat, I hear the crowds carousing, a noble residence engulfing dusty feet. Hope makes you look like something. Here you are, in sun-baked cities where the trim is creeping, the biped, sleepy walkers faintly squeaking, where growing heat turns them to dwarfs of melting tar. We visited the palace of forsaken gods, could hardly breathe, so thin was here the air. Their spirit nested under bugs of age-old woods. We tried to like them, but they did not care. Somebody threw away a library of sort. The books lay scattered along life's pet lane, from Socrates to letters from the court, perhaps some wise man who forsook his brain. Old age, the symptom of decrepit immortality. No doubt that genuine wisdom must be old. Demented love is no malignity. All centenaries hip, their funk be bold. Once a happy island in the core of someone's heart, now gone to naught in levelling procession. Erosion and eviction, gnawing start. All lighthouse mice now drowned in surge progression. I left the house to sleep under the bridges, as I had often done as tramp abroad. A wholesome exercise, far better than the ditches, where ants and vermin want you for their lord. With all these songs of turning, turn the tide, you turn and turn, a game of cryptic dots. You turn again and wonder where to hide. The rest is silence and the babble of the bots. Lord Tennyson and I, a most respectful dwarf, on New Year's Eve stood on a tower in Canary Wharf. "The years," he cried, "that ever met in tears, now meet in war." "Let's jump," he said, "but who will go before?" As I grew up in torpid years of constant fear, time's nuclear chariot always hurrying near, the hoodwink balance of terrestrial orchestration, safe and secure in lifelong degradation. My house, I sold it, it is gone. A homeless man now loitering on the road. I will go down to the remains of sunken Avalon and marry the relation of a toad. Spare time unlimited, and skulking in the street, where jets pull vapor streaks across the empty sky. The sausage dog is hanging at your feet. Some mumbling years to come snore you goodbye. Still waking up from that notorious winter sleep, Forsythia slowly sees you at the door. The coming cold will be 3 meters deep, and no Forsythia will be there as once before. Then put your little hand in mine and feel it getting old. I meet you at the hemlock shrine, where silence hides the cold. How high the trees have grown that once I planted! They rose to sky height, while I shrank down to the tar. They mark the time that mind and body granted, and when they fall, someone will cross the bar. Transport is at the door. That's all, that's it. So let us leave and go beyond the moon. The figure in the beam, a cryptic flip. Some mystic baby doll will steer the power ship.